Okay, so last piece of hardware, and this was a very quick tease, but the Pixel tablet.
Yeah,
That's the name we have right now.
Everything else they announced. I mean, the Pixel 7 was kind of like, that was weird. Didn't expect that. But this was the only true curveball, in my opinion. That just
the Pixel Buds were a surprise.
Pixel Buds
surprise, yeah. But it's not like we didn't know they were coming.
Right.
We just did not expect them.
Didn't expect them to say
no
anything.
No one expected the Spanish Inquisition.
No, and what's funny is we got an embargoed email.
You guys got to read this stuff. You got one job.
It was like 13 things to know about Android. I'm like, cool. That's this is basically
great.
One of many blog posts that they sent us.
It could have said we're deprecating Android, and we would not have known because we didn't read it.
But it's like 13 things to know because everything else is like 5 things to know about this. That's the blog post they put out. So like, cool. It's going to talk about all the new features they're talking about for Android 13. It's not that big of a deal.
Sent over to Joanna. Hey, write this up.
So she's writing it. She's like, "Did you all see this?" And she's highlighting.
We didn't get
all
all the press assets until after the keynote started, so we didn't know. We didn't have pictures. It wasn't like we had this stuff. Oh, hey,
this
look,
little image right here.
None of that was in existence when we went into I/O yesterday. We had 2 emails, and that was it.
But in that email, it was one sentence. Today we launched the Pixel Watch. We're like, oh, okay, cool. Well, we know for sure that'll be there.
Yeah.
Today we announced Pixel 6a. Okay, cool. We know that's going to be there. But it's also said today we launched the Pixel tablet, and like, what? And I think something in there said something about the Pixel Buds too.
A new version of.
And so we knew
a new operating system or something is what it said.
No, so it's an enhanced Android tablet experience or something like that.
Yeah. So
Fuchsia. Fuchsia.
So
no,
we knew
it's Android.
We knew this stuff was coming, but we just didn't have the little bit that we had was not any real detail.
Yeah.
It was just enough to know they are going to say something about it. So when they are like, and next up we'll have the Google hardware team, like, like here comes all of it, and that's what happened.
It was a parade.
But the Pixel tablet,
interesting.
Yeah. I'm not interested at all. I actually think it looks like a relic from like 2015.
Yeah, I'm interested in what it
design.
means for what Google's doing as far as what we've been talking about, how they are getting really good at integrating their services with hardware, with everything that you do, because that was when Rick announced it, it does. It looks very antiquated. It kind of actually, now that I look at it, it kind of reminds me of like the Acer Tab 10.
Yes, that
white.
plastic back.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Found an article from Android Central from a few years ago, from 2 years ago, talking about the Pixel C was still the best Android tablet ever made. And if you've ever held one, you would know why. It was ultra premium. It was incredible. The keyboard, it's the only tablet keyboard I've ever used that was actually really good. So they launched this thing, and you're like,
what's that?
What is that? That doesn't look like a Pixel C. It doesn't look premium. It looks like a kid's toy.
Yeah, I mean, and then granted, they showed us the edges of it basically, and then you see it from the front. It has huge bezels.
Huge.
It looks like the older iPads. So I'm not really sure what's going on.
So
with that, but it's not going to be available till 2023.
But if I published this morning, if you go look, 9 to 5 had written a while back that whatever their inside sources at Google said that Google was working on a detachable smart display of sorts. They didn't technically say it was going to be called a Nest Hub. They just said it's some kind of smart home detachable tablet thing. This thing that Rick announced yesterday has pogo pins on the back, not on the bottom where you would expect them to be for a keyboard.
Plus, and they made sure in that one little
angle
when it rolled, and like the reflection was on the pogo pins, so you could see it clearly.
But it's the Pixel C didn't use it. It had a Bluetooth keyboard. The Slate had pogo pins on the bottom. And this thing, if you look at it from the front, I put the image in my article. If you look at it from the front, you would swear it's like a smart display. It looks like a Nest Hub. It has that
look to it, for sure.
So this is just my 2 cents. My bet is that this is the tablet / smart home device that Google is working on, which is why this is not going to be meant to compete with Samsung Galaxy Tabs or anything like that. This is more of a Lenovo Smart Tab M8, which will dock and it'll have a big speaker on the base, so you have really great audio. It'll do all the cool Google Home stuff that they were talking about with the,
recognizing your
yeah,
face.
we didn't even talk about that. No hot words needed. It recognizes your face if your face match and everything's turned on.
This was updates to the Hub Max.
Yeah, Hub Max. So you look at it and it knows it's you. Since you're a counseling to that, you just ask it a question. You don't have to say, "Hey, G," or anything like that. My guess is that this is going to be a next iteration of the Nest Hub family, even though it's called a Pixel. So it's going to be a tablet, which it's going to have a Tensor chip. So
yeah, they did say it'll have Tensor.
Yeah, it's going to be powerful enough to be a good little tablet. It's not going to be a Galaxy at all, but it'll be good for, hey, we're getting ready to plop down on the couch and watch some TV or whatever. I'm going to grab that so I can scroll through some news.
Yeah.
Right.
But now I can put it up here, and it's become my all-in-one home controller. It has great audio because it's sitting on a detachable base that has a huge speaker in it, and it does all the things that Google Home does. Google Nest, whatever.
And the Nest Hubs now are starting to add like apps and stuff. Like, we got, I got my son the $65 deal that was going.
Yeah, the Gen 2 Nest
for the
Hub.
Gen 2, and like you can put apps on it and stuff now, and so they're moving in that direction with Nest Hub anyway. And so if they're seeing kind of a convergence between, this thing's going to be able to run some apps and some games and stuff like that, well, why not kind of bring the tablet into that existence? And now you've got a device that we've talked about for years at this point, this idea of having a dockable thing that is the smart display for your home, but when you want to pick it up and use it as a tablet, it can be that as well. Like
it's running Android.
Purpose.
You can have all your Android apps on it.
Yeah, because Lenovo sent us one
emails,
of theirs a couple
of
years ago, and the concept's great. It just at that point in time, the software wasn't there because it was supposed to transition between a pure Android tablet to a kind of an assistant device when you docked it, but that was all really janky. The home controls never really worked right, and it wasn't a powerful enough tablet to begin with.
Right.
If this has a Tensor chip and has enough RAM and it runs well enough, it could be a good Android tablet and a really great smart display.
Well, how big is the display on the Max?
Big. 10.1.
So like, imagine that base, the base that is a speaker. Imagine just being able to pop that
the display off.
the
That's
display
what
off.
that looks like.